Hello and welcome to the What About Cynics podcast. This is me, Harvey, with Aaron
Hello.
and newbie Mr. Butler
You're right, mate.
slash Alec. Hello,
Yo, it's
Alec.
me. What's good?
Anyway, today we're gonna talk about some stuff that happened during March in
Yeah.
April. So we're gonna talk about some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, some remakes, some Pixar up and coming films. We're gonna talk about retarded people who even bothered creating conspiracies around the missing Malaysian flight, and much more pop culture based things. So enjoy.
Nothing to do with video games though, because damned if video games exist in March.
It's been a barren wasteland of video game news for the entire month.
Well, the only thing that really happened was that people just got angry at Watch Dogs, and then the producer defended Watch Dogs, and then everyone went, "All right." Because none of us have we can't even play the next gen games, so it's not like I can play
Titanfall's
Infamous.
out the window.
Well, Titanfall, no one, you can play Titanfall and be like, oh, actually, Xbox One's getting really good games, and I could play Infamous and be like, oh no, PS4 is. Then we could chat about that, about how the next gen's
I've got the
starting to
money.
kick off.
It'll be like Xbox One's got a good game. Oh, the PS4's got a good game. Those are two games that you can play on the consoles for £400.
I can't play Dark Souls 2 until the 25th of April. So I'm just sitting here doing nothing really.
I bought
Yeah.
Armed and Dangerous the other day. That's a fun game from
Yeah.
2002 or whatever it's from.
Oh fuck.
There you go. Gaming
That's got
news. Consoles suck.
Gaming news is I can't afford to buy a computer and I can't afford to buy a new console. So you've got to deal with me talking about games that came out 10 years ago and then going, oh yeah, have you ever heard of Elder Scrolls? It's really good.
Oblivion.
Or Mud Crabs even, not Mud
You heard about Daggerfall? It's got such a large and wide open map.
What about
Oh,
Max
no.
Payne? It's got physics, sort of.
I tried to play Daggerfall. Fuck me. I either don't know whether or not games have become there are some games that you just can't go back to, or whether or not if I'd have started playing games back in the late 80s, early 90s, I actually would have enjoyed them. I genuinely don't know. I don't know where. I think I would have picked up Space Invaders, played it for 5 minutes, and been like, yeah, what a piece of shit.
Well, as a child whose first console was a Commodore 64 followed by a Sega Mega Drive,
Oh,
I can
take your
report.
tortoiseshell glasses off, you fucking falafel-eating fuck.
I can
My old
report
vintage
that.
consoles.
Hey, no, just European consoles. I can report that you need to be very bored, but you're a kid, so you're willing to play through them anyway, irrespective of how fun they are, because you've got nothing else to do.
True. Well, I mean, I think one of the first games I ever played was Spyro, and that was it was big, it was open world. It was oh shit. I think that's when
Maybe
think
you would have
that's
gone
when-
outside had
It
you
wasn't
had
really
shit
open
games like I
world.
did. If you
But
had
yeah.
to play Aircraft Carrier Commander.
But it was that definitely seems to have been the generation where enough stuff was going on screen where I could be like, okay, I can get into this, I can believe this, because any earlier iteration, especially fucking Daggerfall, is I just do not know how to play this. This is ridiculous.
I was like that when I heard
The
that
original
XCOM.
Fallout as well. I don't.
Yeah, when I heard
get into.
XCOM was being released, I sort of played the old one, and I was like, I actually have no idea what's happening. It's just there's lots of muddy colours and jagged edges, and I think I've won. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
The UI's a piece of shit.
I can definitely see why turn-based JRPGs were really big.
Yeah,
That sort of time because it tells a story very basically, and the gameplay doesn't have to involve much actual
it
player
didn't
interaction. So
it didn't matter
can't-
that Final Fantasy I's graphics sucked because it wasn't about the graphics, it was about the numbers, and the numbers were really good.
Exactly. And numbers, you could play that on paper, and it wouldn't be as emotional, but the
No.
basic idea would get across.
Yeah, and it had just
Death
enough
Around.
graphics that you could kind of imbue your imagination on it, whereas with things like Daggerfall or with Bugsy and that, you were just painfully aware that it was trying to do something more than it ever could.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you ever play a game called Buck Bumble?
No.
That was a brilliant. Buck Bumble was amazing. Buck Bumble's on the N64, and you played a bee with a gun, and you were a robot bee, and you were a member of a robot bee society, and you had to fight against robot wasps. And it was quite good, and it had a 3D roaming sort of flying thing, which was quite unusual. But
It sounds
the
like
fogging
that.
was so bad, you couldn't fly too fast. You just bump into walls, so they'd appear before you could turn.
Yeah.
We
I
sort
was
of
playing
like,
a game called Urban Chaos that has that sort of like
I remember Urban
low
Chaos.
draw distance.
Yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah, Christ Almighty! I bought loads of shitty PS1 games, like because I was with me GF. We were like, oh, let's have a couple of drinks and play some shitty games, and we bought a Bug's Life on PS1.
I remember the Bugs
How
Life
that is
PS1.
not a bad game. How
we
dare you?
It's
How
crap.
dare
PC.
you?
It's so crap. It's completely based around collecting all the collectibles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
it's
had
just
to
like
just
collect-
look
yeah,
on the map.
It's just
People
collecting in various environments.
People fucking love Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, but it's the first. I played it and I was like, wow, these levels are really big. And then I realized like it's not you have to get to the end of the level. It's just you have to collect all the collectibles. So it's like the game stops being like fun exploration. It's instead just wow, route around this fucking like water area looking for the one fucking diamond that you missed the first time
Yeah.
round. There's like 100 of them, and one of them will be jammed up like some enemy's ass, but you won't find it. You'll have to fuck around. It's like wow, this is fun. Jesus Christ. But I don't get games like that at all. Like
What,
there's-
Well,
collectibles?
I mean,
because
Bugs Life.
the main gameplay mechanic is jumping and collectibles. Like Jesus fucking Christ, that's not
think-
an idea.
I think the one game that we said that did collectathons very well was Crackdown.
Yeah, I actually played Crackdown for
the-
the first time
Crackdown was quite fun.
substantially in summer. and
The first Crackdown was a brilliant game. The second one was actually quite fun and co-op, but I think that collecting the agility orbs and the hidden orbs, it didn't feel like so much of a chore as it felt like.
well, that's because they were rewarding you. But in like the Bugs Life game, etc., then there was no
Yeah.
benefit to
You-
collecting these
you-
things. You just
Yes,
had
there
to.
was. You
You-
unlocked
you unlock a movie
low-resolution
clip.
FMVs of the movie.
Yeah, but Jesus Christ, like they cut off at random
Oh,
fucking
Do
points.
you remember the?
Could've
like
been
seriously,
on
there was
CDs.
there
You
was
remember the
one
game
where-
over screen? You lost.
Yeah, you lose, and it's like it's 10 seconds. It's too long for me to be told that I suck. It was like some of the FMVs are like the grasshoppers, like
Yeah.
coming. No, actually, one of the FMVs was like when he says "flaming trick of death" or something, and he lights a match in the circus,
Oh
and he's
yeah.
doing all that, and everything's burning in like the circus, and it cuts off halfway through. It's like what?
Do you think there are
Show me
there
the
are
whole
people?
fucking thing.
Do you think there are people walking around this day who've never seen the film Bugs Life but think they have from playing that game?
Definitely.
Yeah, true.
You know
And
what's
they-
the worst?
They,
You know what the
think
saddest
Bugs
part
Life is really disjointed and doesn't make any sense whatsoever. They think it's a really shitty film, which it is.
The worst part is that Bugs Life game is as close as we're ever going to get to a Seven Samurai game. That is it, people.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Such a
Right, so
pressing statement.
The thing I never, and also like Flick talks constantly. I've never seen a character talk as much as him. Every time he picks up grain, he goes grain, grain, grain. Gotta find grain. What a pain finding grain. And then he like throws shit at people. He goes, oh, that's gonna leave a stain. Like everything is an ain like ending. Everything fucking rhymes.
Oh, and you can bet it's not the voice actor for shit.
Exactly. Although the music in Bugs Life is actually really nice in the game.
Oh.
It's like got these really nice like flutes and stuff.
Actually,
and
yeah, I
then
remember
he
that-
jumps and goes, ah, the life of an ant. Gotta find grain. Oh, shut up.
I remember the music in the Bug City level, like after he leaves the ant countryside.
I don't think I've reached there yet.
That music's really nice as well. 'cause
Why
it's
did we
like-
all play this game?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, well,
Why
I
was
didn't
it
even
all
like
such a
Bugs Life
good-
the film that much.
I've
Why
only
was
just
it
played
a
it
good
now.
frame of reference.
The film's great. I don't know why anyone has a problem with the film.
Well, not compared to the other Pixar films. I don't.
It's better than Ants or Woody Allen is an ant.
Oh,
That's literally it.
as
Woody
you can
Allen
imagine, I
plays
really
Woody
like
Allen.
ants.
Yeah, but that carries it because Woody Allen
Yeah.
is a funny ant. Like,
Amazing ant. He's better
Who
than
played-
whoever the fuck played Flick.
Who played the big ant? The one that got his head cut off.
Sylvester Stallone.
I thought
was
it,
it?
it was.
No,
Oh,
no,
I
no, he
thought
doesn't
it
get
was
his
a
head cut off,
parody
that's
of
another
Sylvester
guy.
Stallone.
That's another guy. The guy gets his head cut off, like he goes
Oh.
to war with. But remember,
Oh,
him and
yeah,
Sylvester
sorry.
Stallone swap places, and then
Yeah, I remember
Sylvester Stallone fucks that woman in the mines.
Yeah, slaughters her ant vagina or whatever
Oh,
it is.
damn
However
shame.
ants have sex, I don't really know. Because he's all big and strong.
No.
What that film says though is that when you put the soldier in the mining thing, he does a lot better than any other miners. So why don't you just
Yeah, why aren't the
Have
soldier
soldiers
class
be
the
miners
dominant-
anyway?
or, like, the
Well,
only
remember,
class?
that's the point. That's what they're trying to do.
is about
Remember,
Class
he
redistribution.
tries to drown everyone, so he tries to make
Oh,
all the strongest ants be the only ants. He's
well, he
restarts.
was right then.
Well, no, yeah, but
Brutal
you know,
and unpleasant, but correct.
but for the good of the colony, and they are the colony. That's the lesson we learn at the end, Alec.
Okay.
They are the colony. You can't
thought the-
restart the colony because it's already around, isn't it?
I thought the lesson was Woody
No.
Allen was having a quiet month.
Oh Christ! But oh shit! What? Yeah. So what stuff? What stuff are we?
Yeah, I
gonna...
just realised that was a bit of a detail.
Video gaming news from March.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bugs Life.
March
I bought
2014,
Bugs Life and
Life.
I bought Monster Scare Island in a double pack. Oh,
Video
actually,
ga-
shit! PlayStation Plus this month was pretty fucking sweet though.
What was it?
Pretty fun good. I'm trying to remember now. It was I got Sly Cooper.
Oh yeah, I never
Yeah?
played those actually.
Well, neither have I, so I'm gonna play. I know this one wasn't made by the original. It was Sucker Punch, but
Wait,
you know,
you mean the Sony's biggest whore didn't play play Sly Raccoon? How is this possible?
well, you know, I just didn't get around to it. You know, I've sucked so many dicks, Aaron, but it doesn't mean I've sucked all the dicks.
Fair enough.
Does Sony's dicks have 6-axis support?
I fucking hope so.
They used to, but then they forgot. They just print on the DualShocks. They just print it on there, but it's
Now you gotta
meaningless.
use the move.
But yeah. So there's that, and then there's you know, and then you got Brothers, Tale of Two Sons.
I want to play that.
That was a nice one. It's all right. It's not that bad. I mean, it's annoying because there'll be a bit of a spoiler, but let's say one of the brothers stops moving. So after that, it becomes just a regular badly made It becomes like a bit of an average
Brother.
platformer.
Yeah, that's a bit
and
shit.
also like I did
Becomes
not find.
Guy.
Well, the problem is the last two chapters
Dude.
are just like it stops doing like the fun mechanics of controlling one brother with each half of the controller, and it becomes like basically very walk here, don't really do anything because we're telling a story, we're setting an atmosphere, we're setting a tone, and by
Oh, a
that
walking
point,
simulator.
yeah, but the problem was the game hadn't grabbed me. Like I didn't give a shit about the brothers. I didn't feel any connection to them. So the last two bits were just me watching a bloke walk around. Because I just think the narrative of the game is really fucking lazy.
Well, that's a bit of a failure of a game, or
Yeah,
of an aim,
but-
then I'd say.
But the first few bits are really good. I always assumed it was an indie game, but it's made by Starbreeze, isn't it? Like made like
Really?
yeah, they made the Butcher Bay game, didn't they?
Oh
think.
shit,
Yeah,
those
and
guys.
The Darkness.
Yeah. Oh shit, I never
First one.
played the Darkness.
First one's actually they're both quite good in different ways. The first one's quite good in that it's just good. It's just a fun game. It's just silly and the powers are interesting and it's quite pretty and the gunplay is quite interesting. And the second one's quite imaginative and colourful and surprisingly violent in a quite ridiculous sort of way.
Okay. I'll give it a shot.
plot
Should
makes no
we
sense.
while we're on games, I guess we should probably just get the GameSpy FTL thing out the way because
Okay.
might as well split into two segments. So yeah, FTL recently came into Advanced Edition, which and for those who don't know, FTL is kind of like I think they meant it to be they called it a Picard simulator, like they wanted to just accurately recreate what it's like to explore space, but it's actually more kind of like a Battlestar Galactica simulator because you're constantly outrunning a threat using your warp drive, and you've got to just get to the end, and it's really hard.
It's
yeah.
kind of also a firefighting simulator in that you've got to constantly battle fire because fire just murders the shit out of you constantly.
Yep. Fire is overpowered, but
Should
Fire OP, please, Nev.
I think it's a good example of how indie games can be, as addictive and as enjoyable as AAA. And I think it's nice that they've decided to not, like, just charge more for DLC.
Don't Starve. Don't Starve. What?
I haven't played it actually.
Don't Starve released like a £7 expansion pack. It's like the game costs £7 to make. Like, who do you think you are?
That's appalling.
What's that?
It's just
Don't
like-
Starve.
Yeah.
There was a big YouTube Let's Play thing for a while. You play like it's a bit like FTL, but without trying not to starve.
Oh.
Got to wonder about a kind of like. I know every game's kind of like Minecraft now, but
Oh, I
you
know.
get
Don't
dumped.
Starve.
Yeah,
The
the
one with
zombie
the-
game. The zombie
there's
game.
lots zombie game.
Oh, maybe I'm not thinking of Don't Starve.
It's like
No.
it looks like it has a zombie aesthetic to it. Like you're just a guy in the
Yeah,
middle of
there's
the
lots
field,
of weird beards. You got to like collect grass to make a net to catch fish to get fish bones to make a hat or something. I don't.
Right.
I played it a lot, but
Anyway, so I don't know. I think it's because I mean, do you guys see that Square Enix said that they grossly because of the success of some of those Nintendo DS game like JRPGs, they said they're going to try and stop making every JRPG they make try and be like a AAA appeal to everyone fest because they've worked out that doesn't work because of their record losses.
Fair enough.
And so I think it's just kind of I don't know. it seems like this year so far has been quite a good one for
That
indie
does make
versus
sense, 'cause
AAA.
the only people I know who own Final Fantasy. What's the latest one?
13.
28.
It's 14 technically.
Well, no, but 13
Final
is
Fantasy
the newest one is
78X2, A, B, whatever it is. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
only people I know who bought that were massive weeaboos and Final Fantasy nerds. Like, no, I don't know anyone who went, oh,
Yeah.
that looks like a good game. Final Fantasy 14. We'll
this
buy
is
that.
the
It's always the,
Well,
you know,
JRPGs aren't really the type of thing that people see. They're not very pick up and play.
like the only one I think that has mass appeal is Ni no Kuni, and that's only because Studio Ghibli put their name to it.
I would
Like,
openly argue against that. I don't
What?
think
I
Ni
know-
no Kuni's really obscure. No one's played Ni no
No,
Kuni.
loads of people have played Ni no Kuni.
Nah, bollocks.
Like most people I talk to who don't like JRPGs have played Ni no Kuni.
I wouldn't go near the fucking thing. Oh,
Well, no, but you like compulsively hate anime.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm racist to anime. I don't know. I can't deal with it. It makes me cross.
I will play it with a friend. Like, but they'd have to force me to play it.
Fair enough.
I don't think. I mean, like, no, yeah, personally, like JRPGs, like because they're so story based and a lot of like the gameplay's not very like it's mostly just turn based gameplay. I don't find that very like engaging. I need someone there to chat to.
That's
while
one
doing
thing.
it.
Did you see that Final Fantasy 13 removed even the turn-based shit? Like you actually inputting turns, you just have to input vague attack patterns. You just put like aggressive, defensive, or healing, and then
Oh.
they do it. Like even further removed.
Yeah,
And they said they're gonna get rid of that as well.
I
so.
don't think the thing that it needed was to be like watered down. I think
No.
it needed to be made more complex because that would make like every fight like oh shit,
Exactly.
not just
I think
sort
they
of-
should have. I don't know because I think the Final Fantasy games in that you could just sort of bluster through them fairly easily, just tapping the A button and choosing the biggest attack. Like they were never that complicated in the first place, like gameplay wise.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. I feel that
Well, I mean,
some of
I
them
played
couldn't be gotten through by doing that.
which is a Final Fantasy where there's a level in the demo where you climb up a tower and there's a giant spider or something, like a clockwork spider.
God no.
7,
You're on a landing
8,
ship at the start.
9.
One of those. I
10.
played one of those. I felt,
Aaron's just counting up the number of times.
All of them,
He's getting
I think,
pissed
have
off.
that.
well, if someone can remember the
confusion.
specific Final Fantasy I'm talking about, there's a bit where you land on a beach and a landing sort of craft. You fight up a tower in the end. There's a big clockwork spider. You have to run all the way back down.
Oh, 8.
There we go. Thank you very much. Cheers. Okay, he's done a job for you. Final Fantasy 8. I remember I was in primary school, so I can't have been older than 11. And I remember doing that demo fairly easily, just choosing the biggest attack or the one I thought was prettiest.
Yeah, congratulations, you got past the first level.
Well,
How
then-
dare you?
Well,
That's my,
the-
you know.
the thing I don't really get also about them is like because they're so like story based, it's
Mm.
like oh shit I like if the gameplay's not satisfying me I want a great story, and I don't like Final Fantasy X is just none of the characters are any more complex than how they start.
Yeah.
Like no one goes through anything. Everyone's seemingly retarded, and it's just going to another location. Them having a story about their like fears.
Yeah,
And then
I
it's
realized
just like, oh
that-
my god, this is just like, if you're going to take up my time watching cutscenes, at least make them really fucking well written, but they're just not. I mean,
That
I don't know
is-
if like the original Japanese is just way better, but fuck me, that's one hell of a bad mistranslation if it is.
Well, that is one thing. The translation teams do fuck up quite a lot, but I'm not going to excuse that entirely because Final Fantasy X was just doomed from the beginning. But I did
People fucking
realize that
love
Final
it.
Fantasy X is kind of like the How I Met Your Mother of Final Fantasies, just because nothing changes at all. Like they are literally
Oh,
from
didn't that-
beginning to end insane.
Didn't that end? Who was
Yeah,
the
it
mother?
ended, and they reverted everyone's character back to how they were in season 1.
Who was the mother?
Just some woman who dies at the end, and he gets with Robin instead.
Oh,
Yeah,
but she's pregnant, right?
who? The mother.
Yeah.
The mother has 2 kids, yeah, and then she dies.
Oh, so he adopts the 2 kids.
No,
Wow.
she has the 2 kids that he's talking to for the entire series.
Oh, and then she dies.
And then she dies, and then the kids are like, "You've just spent 10 years telling us this story. You clearly still love Robin. Robin, you fuck. Go marry her." And he does. And Barney just stays a playboy, and Willow from Buffy just stays married to that guy from
To the one that's got quietly,
the
you
guy
know,
from the Muppets.
Jason Segel.
Yeah.
He's very quietly leaving it. The new person who has a career outside of How I Met Your Mother.
Well, no, he stayed with it to the end because it's just finished. So
So
Yeah, but I think they were finishing it because Jason Segel was starting to become very quietly quite big and important.
oh, I see.
But
Is he? The last thing I remember him in was the 5-year engagement, and that wasn't
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
big
he's,
or
he's
important.
quietly,
think
he's sort of quietly becoming quite hot comedy property.
I think you're
Fair enough.
overselling him.
I'm not. This is a strange thing. You've
Right,
got
well, because he was in the Muppets and 5-year engagement.
not the 5-year. Muppets was a big deal.
It was, and he wasn't in the sequel.
Yeah, and they kicked him out for Ricky
The sequel was
Gervais.
shite.
It was alright.
Have you seen it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was fine. It
okay.
was just
It was
fine.
fine.
I have like, it's not shit. It's just fine. I have nothing more
It's
to
it's a film,
yeah.
and you can go and see it if you like. Don't have to.
You will leave having it will sort
Seen a
of
film.
because it will like 'cause if you put it on like a utilitarian calculus, like imagine that like
Oh.
actual happiness is a thing or pleasure is
Oh.
an actual like value, then you will be bored and then you will laugh just a bit more than you were bored, and then you'll get bored again, and then you'll laugh just a bit more than you were bored, and by the end you will come out on a complete like even keel of when you went in. It won't change your emotional state whatsoever.
Hooray, life.
It's like one of those desensitivity tanks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot what the actual name was.
Oh, what are they called?
I don't know.
Emotional deprivation chamber?
Yeah,
No,
it's
emotional
essential
sensory
deprivation.
Sensory deprivation. There we go.
Sensory,
There it
yeah.
is.
But you will. That's what Muppets Most Wanted is. And that's
Putting
Stellar
out the
that's
cool
endorsement.
hallucinations.
Well, unless you just hallucinate the entire fucking Muppets movie, then yeah, I guess that could be your hallucination. But
And then you've saved a couple of pounds.
well, I went for free because George gets free cinema tickets because he
Why?
works there in the cinema.
Oh, he
I
works at
get
the
free
cinema.
cinema tickets too, but
Yeah,
for
but
art
you-
films, so it's a bit shit.
Yeah, so sorry, we were talking about
So
FTL.
that's
weren't
video
we?
games, guys. I'm glad you
it's
enjoyed
FTL.
that.
GameSpy as well. Hey, GameSpy. GameSpy
Oh
are
yeah,
closing
GameSpy
all
shut
the.
down. Rest in peace, you piece of shit.
So
Something
how
I've
are
never
we gonna play
used,
our
rip, I
games,
guess.
Aaron? If we can't play them through
Well,
GameSpy?
I don't know. Apparently, everyone's got to look out for alternatives now. But I bet you Civilization 4 just won't bother.
Oh come on! There'll be someone who loves Civilization so much that they'll put all their money into a dedicated server. It'll be amazing.
I
Just
hope
play
so.
Civilization Revolution and cut your gameplay in half. It's amazing.
There has to be like some sort of like eccentric young billionaire who plays every single one of these games who can set up a
Yeah.
server.
I
This
think there
happens.
is, because me and Aaron are talking about Time Splitters, and it turns out there's some people working on a project to port the entire Time Splitters franchise to the PC.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
making an HD version of it.
Yeah, but I
That'd be
don't know.
sick.
It
I
sounds
love Time
amazing.
Splitters.
And of course, the company, what were they called? The Free Radical. They don't give a shit because they went out of fucking business because of Haze. So they're
Yeah,
like,
well, no, they're apparently the vague shell of what was Free Radical is now Crytek UK.
oh yeah, they got bored, didn't they?
Yeah, but like they got stripped down to shit. I think. I don't think anyone attached to Time Splitters is there. I hope not.
I know they used to be like. I think the company was called like Pumpkin something, like
Mhm.
Big Ass Pumpkins or something. That was supposed to be. That was where like all the best people went to go and make another game studio. But I haven't heard anything from them.
I bet it folded.
I'm waiting for the day when I hear a game that's being made by someone Pumpkins, and then it will then it will remind me what the fuck I actually knew. But until then, it's just there's some people from Free Radical who now call themselves Pumpkins or something. So I await their next release.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I-
I went a
Yes,
bit on with that one.
Pumpkins.
Yeah,
10 years in the making.
my only real like thought there was pumpkins, and then I had to like create speech using that information.
Basically, you just saw a pumpkin in your brain and thought, video games? Yeah, I'll do.
But okay, yeah, so GameSpy leaving, and then we gotta. Oh,
Yeah.
go on, Aaron. Why don't you talk about how excited you are for Incredibles 2?
Oh, we're gonna.
And
do
then I'll
Incredibles
tell
2
you why you're
first.
wrong.
Well, you see,
I'll
back
have
in
no opinion.
back in the day,
All bases covered.
an,
Hooray.
an incredible movie was made, which perfectly depicted the depressing aspects of family life mixed with superheroes, called The Incredibles. And then for some reason, Disney Pixar did that thing where they made sequels to all the wrong things, like Cars and Monsters University. And then now they've decided that they need money again, and they want to make a good movie, so they're making Incredibles 2.
Well, let me correct you there, Aaron.
And now Harvey
Yes.
with the
I would
report.
also
Yeah.
like to have an input.
You can,
Hooray.
but
Oh,
third.
drunk.
So yes, they did make an absolutely brilliant movie. It was a really good expose into a family falling apart. It created lots of problems and it solved them, and it completely
Despair,
glued everything up
triumph.
by the end. It was absolutely wonderful. Yeah, like seeing a superhero threaten to kill someone because of his desperation that his family had been taken away from him. It was like, oh holy shit, this is an amazing film, right? And
Yeah.
then when they got to the end, they said, oh, let's not make another one of those because we've done everything we can with these characters.
I knew
We've
you were gonna
made
use
it
this one.
absolutely perfect. There's no reason to make another one. And now, yes, they have run out of.
Well, no,
they do want more money. Moo moo moo, and they're
you know
back
what?
again.
You know what Brad Bird has said? Yeah,
If Brad Bird's involved, I trust it because I
apparently
trust
they've
Brad
been
Bird.
asking him for years to make one, and he said he wouldn't until he had a good idea.
Yeah.
And apparently now he's had a good idea.
Yeah.
So,
Well, has he?
well,
Or has
he thinks
John Lasseter
so.
just complained about him enough?
And we know
Just
that. Well, they've broken him.
Yeah, like.
Well, I just hope he comes back and does the Edna Mode voice.
Well, of course he will, because
A fantastic parody of Edith Head, by the way, who is
Yes.
a very big costume designer. Possibly
yeah.
one of the most obscure jokes that has ever been in a Pixar film, yet one of the one that's paid off the most brilliantly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Because the reason why you can do like a Toy Story sequel is because all the characters are kind of like, you know, it's a big gang. So you've got
Well,
like loads of
I think
personalities
you
flying
can
around.
do
Whereas, but
an
with the
evolving
Incredibles,
family.
it's like they're never like being that funny or that like way. Like it's not like Rex can come out and be all shivery and go oh, and Woody
Well,
will
no,
be
but
like
each
oh
one
it's
of
all
them is
right,
a
mate.
each one of them is a complete character with their
Yeah,
own
but like
flaws and strengths, etc. I think you can definitely make them have another outing.
I know, but it's gonna be so fucking cheap this time, and it will
I
have
don't know.
so
I
many
don't reckon it will
problems
be.
sandwiched in.
We both know how good Brad Bird is. I think he can make it work.
You remember the Incredibles were so good because of the problems that they were going
Yeah,
through.
and they can have more problems. Like, it must be really hard to be a family that fights crime.
I know, but it'll be the same shit again.
Well, no, it won't be, because they're in a different context. They're no longer hidden and repressed. Like, Dash can be as free, but he probably has problems showing off so much. Like, he's probably a cocky asshole.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
You can evolve the characters appropriately. It doesn't take that much imagination, and I'm sure Brad Bird's been thinking about it for a while because it's like the one really popular thing he did that was also really good. Unlike Iron Giant.
What's wrong with Iron Giant?
No, as in no, everyone liked Iron Giant, but it wasn't very commercially successful.
No, it's a shame.
Yeah, I agree.
So sad.
But we're never getting Iron Giant 2.
No, instead we got Rata-fucking-Tui. For them.
But
Okay,
yeah, I
yeah,
don't know.
what was
I'm ecstatic.
what was your opinion, Alec?
On the Incredibles or the announcement of Incredibles 2? Because I have two separate opinions.
Both.
Well,
The
surely one
Incredibles
is
I
surely
really
one's linked
liked.
to the
I
other.
thought it was a heartwarming thing about how the real problems aren't fighting supervillains. It's keeping a family together. It's it's standard Pixar fluff, and it was surprisingly good, and it was really well put together, and all the design was really interesting, and it was kind of like an old, I don't know, science fiction comic in bits where like the enemies would fly giant saw blades because that's totally practical.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. And the thing of Incredibles 2, it felt a bit like when they announced Monsters University, in that it kind of seems like they've been looking at Tumblr for so long and had seen the gift sets that people who really are too old for this have been making of the Incredibles and decided, oh, there's a market there
I need
because
to
of
look at
disposable
these
income.
gifts.
Because Monsters University, I don't know if anyone actually, did any of you see it?
I
We
saw
both saw it.
I
We
thought it was.
disagree.
I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I think it's not that great.
Oh,
Was
really?
it?
Okay.
Was
yeah.
it? Did it need to be? Because obviously, nothing of it was it worth a sequel
think
being made,
they're
or was it just kind of like,
Yes.
all right?
No, it was. I thought it was like we went. I thought it was the funniest comedy I saw of that year. Like it replaced sort of like all the sort of more. I guess you could call it a bit deep because Monsters Inc. definitely had something going under the surface, and
Yeah.
like Monsters University kind of took that and replaced it with comedy, but the comedy was funny enough to warrant it. And it was yeah, at no point did it feel forced. It didn't feel like, you know, that they were like trying to force out any sort of like confrontation. Everything felt like quite natural, but it was like, yeah, a really funny comedy movie.
I don't know.
A college movie.
I feel that there's a difference though, because Monsters University was a prequel for one, and so you can't evolve the characters; you can only devolve them.
True.
And I think that like and that they are like Rex, the characters of Monsters Inc. are wacky inherently, and I feel that they're not humans like the Incredibles are, and so you can't advance their story like you can.
No, I'm
The
saying
Incredibles.
for when you create like a serialized franchise of like several movies,
Yeah.
like you can't have them growing.
No,
That's
but
why
you
like
want- no,
that's
you
why
want-
like
that's
Indiana
interesting.
Jones
You-
works because I don't think you can do it. I don't think people have that far to go.
I think they can, given their lives.
But they can either get more happier or more depressed.
Yeah, well, they'll probably get depressed, I imagine, given the tone of Incredibles 1.
Oh, then we've got to see them get depressed and happy again. Oh, we've seen this.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then you get to hear Samuel L. Jackson and his like sassy wife talking, and he'll be like, "Oh
True.
damn, I gotta go save the city."
Well,
What do you
hopefully-
think black people sound like?
That's what I know Samuel L. Jackson sounds like.
Alright.
I still argue that little exchange where he's saying, "Where is my suit?" and
I'm the
she's put it
greatest
away.
good you ever gonna
Yeah,
get.
I'm the greatest good you're ever gonna get. It's probably one of the it's a brilliant line, and I think I really like it. I think that the idea of
just another reason that it was such a good.
because had the idea of superheroes sort of getting middle-aged and domestic been done before?
Yeah,
Well,
quite a lot.
outside of comic books.
Watchmen.
Yeah, but
True. Not
in a way
as funny.
in a way, it wasn't full of rape and horrible gore and terribleness.
Well, wasn't there that stupid Ben Stiller film? I can't remember what it was called now. Like The Mystery Man or something. That was about heroes getting middle-aged.
Man, I have no idea.
Never heard that in my life.
He plays like the shoveler or something. It flopped massively.
Oh, that one. I know what you mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
and William H. Macy was in it.
Yes, and they're all like old superheroes.
And Hank Azaria was in it as a magician who was
Yeah.
a shit.
There you
That
go.
can't be good.
No, it's terrible. Well, it's terrible, and it flopped properly. But
It
it's
wasn't Adam Sandler, it was the other one.
Ben Stiller. I said.
Oh, so I thought you said Adam Sandler. I get mixed up.
Did you mix up in your own head and then blame
Yeah,
me for it?
actually, it got into my brain.
Yeah.
You
Like, it was that
bastard.
bad. Yeah, Mystery Men, 1999.
There we go.
it
Yeah, so it's been done a bit, I guess, but I mean, never as well.
Watchmen and Mystery Man, all bases covered.
is.
We've
And the-
explored this now.
Got some actually like it's got Benson and
Will be quoted in media journals for years to
oh, shit,
come.
Jeffrey Rush was in it.
Shit, really?
And Eddie Izzard. I suppose that was Jeffrey Rush before Pirates. Was it before Pirates of the Caribbean?
Must be,
way
1999.
before.
Yeah,
Not
it
way
must have been
before, like
before
2002?
Jeffrey Rush became good again. Essentially,
Before he
But,
became Barbosa.
What
best
Avengers?
character in the trilogy.
Is that Jeffrey Rush?
Yeah,
What, Barbosa? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely Jeffrey Rush. Really good in that.
like his best
Um,
role ever.
Jeffrey Rush was the guy who complained about
Queen's Speech guy.
homosexuals marrying to do incest, right?
That was Jeremy Irons.
That was Jeremy Irons. Sorry, I get the two.
He was the
muddled
one
up.
who said I think the quote was something along the lines of, "If men can marry, what's to stop a man
yeah, I
marrying
remember
his
that.
son
Yeah.
to get around inheritance law?"
I thought you were
then-
getting
and then-
confused with the
Oh.
UKIP guy, Jeffrey something.
Oh,
no.
Godfrey Bloom.
Oh, Godfrey, Jesus.
And then somebody went Jeremy Irons, but that would be illegal as well. He went, would it? And
Yeah,
the guy
he
went,
"Would it?"
yeah.
He went,
and he went,
and
"I'm
sort of
not so-"
stroked his goatee.
Yeah.
Like the
He's like, I've
pretentious
got to find
thespian
another. I've got
twat
to
that he
find
is.
He's like, I've got to find another pointless argument in order to cover up my clear homophobia.
You know what's the saddest thing? That is Jeremy Irons is one of the finest talents that the Bristol Old Vic has ever produced.
I know
And,
he's a
like,
really
other
good
than,
actor, but my
other than
God, the
Patrick
man's a
Stewart, and
cunt.
he's just a dick. He's
I
playing
think he
Alfred
also-
as well.
I think he said something along the lines of they're talking about blah
Sorry.
blah blah love each other. He went, "Yes, but I'm very fond of my dog." Shut up, Jeremy.
Yeah, that
Irons,
was
you
insane.
you idiot. Go back and be in Dungeons and Dragons again.
Oh yeah, shit, he was.
Yeah, do you remember that film? You fucking yeah. Finest talent Bristol Vic's produced. He's in Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, look at Patrick Stewart and his like pre-Star Trek career.
Yeah, have you seen? Oh, I'm trying to. There's definitely
No,
a
I
film where
argue
he
that
played
none
like
of
a gay New Yorker. That was hilarious.
I argue that none of Patrick Stewart's movies have ever been as bad as Dungeons and Dragons ever were.
Yeah, I
Oh,
can't
fair.
take that bet. You're probably right.
So, speaking of, well, we've already done potentially shitty movies. Let's talk about TMNT.
Well, almost definitely. We've opened the
Teenage
Schrodinger's
Mutant Hero
box and we
Turtles,
found out
as
the
it's known
cat
in
is
Britain.
dead.
Teenage
So,
Mutant
Are you
Hero
excited about it?
Turtles.
Personally, I don't give a shit about TMNT.
I'm not
I
gonna watch it.
Have a bit of an
Fuck.
attachment to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It looks fine. It looks about. People are saying like, "Oh, fuck it all, the turtles don't look right," and "Oh God, like this looks ridiculous." And it's like, yeah, that's what Teenage Mutant
Yeah,
Ninja Turtles
they're
is.
ridiculous.
Big old fucking turtles jumping around. You
Have you-
have just created in your head that it's something deep. You're mad. You're
I hate-
absolutely mad.
That's one thing. I can't stand people who claim that they aren't ridiculous because they are literally just a kind of straw man of everything that was wrong with 80s and 90s culture, like Saturday morning kids cartoons. That's
Yeah.
what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be like, because just popular stuff like ninjas and mutants combined.
Exactly. And like, if
And-
people actually like, it wasn't like the writing was fucking on the nose, was it? It was like, hey dude, let's get some pizza. Oh man, cheesy top. Like that was about as complex as it got. As
Yeah,
far as I
well, some could
remember.
argue that the comic books were slightly more complex than that, but
fair
yeah,
enough.
I mean the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that everyone loves is just basically kind of 80s surfer dudes
Yeah.
in New York sewers.
There was someone on Tumblr who I've since forgotten who, in the trailer, they're wearing trousers and pants, which implies that they're covering up something, which implies they have human dicks
Big old.
or turtle dicks.
Oh, what would a turtle dick look like? Let me
Well,
find out.
also,
Oh, is this that
why would
person
they
who-
give why would they give the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle penises unless one was going to be used? And you have Megan Fox in it. Is Megan Fox going to fuck a turtle in this film?
Oh shit!
I reckon they're gonna save it for the sequel.
Turtle
Because-
dicks are pretty massive.
That, or they've given them trousers for some reason. Maybe, I
Well-
don't know, merchandising?
Damn,
But
I
why-
would get. I would
the
give
original
them,
turtles didn't have trousers.
I'd
they
give
would-
them trousers for these turtle dicks. Jesus.
Yeah, to be fair,
They-
have you seen their faces? Their dicks are gonna be really ugly. Like,
Because
you
they've
don't
got
wanna see
weird
that.
lips as well. Why
They
do
have
you give
lips,
lips
that's
unless,
weird.
like, for kissing, perhaps?
Yeah,
I
they're
think I saw this Tumblr post. I think you must have reblogged it. 'Cause
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, the person's got a point. It's Megan Fox going to get off with a turtle and then fuck it.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot. It's a lot like the Gem movie. Like, although I like.
I'm still not sure when it's being
The
made.
gem was a
Well,
thing?
I don't know why the Gem movie is being made, but I agree. Like, aside from all the stuff, like it's a completely male creative team, and that's a bit weird. Making a film, making a film about like basically kind of like Sex in the City, but with Gem.
Well, welcome to Hollywood, baby.
Yeah,
So it
well,
works.
that's true. And but yeah, so you've got that, and then it's like, but people are getting really outraged. It's like it's Gem. I went back and watched an episode of Gem.
Yeah, who
It's
actually?
just a fucking. It's a lady who wants to be a. It's kind of like it's basically just Hannah Montana, but with loads more fucking technology. And
like
this
Batman,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it's kind of like Batman and Hannah Montana. And it's like, what the fuck? This is terrible. This is clearly made for like 9-year-old girls. It's like,
Yeah, well,
don't
I
get
think-
so fucking hell bent. Of course, it's not going to look good.
Don't like anyone figures out how bad the Terminators, not Terminators, what was the other one? Transformers. But like Transformers made to sell comic toys anyway, and the Transformers cartoon is not a good cartoon.
Well, yeah, I mean, the internet would probably disagree with you on there. I don't personally have
Well,
any deep attachment to the Transformers cartoon, but it does have a massive following.
When I went to go and see the Transformers movie, I was like, I knew what I was getting. I was going to get robots smashing each other. The only thing I was disappointed in that there was not enough robot smashing.
Yeah, too much Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Not enough
And then
robot
even
smashing.
later on, when we got more robot smashing, it was like, actually, robot smashing isn't that interesting to watch for 2 hours. Maybe I should just not. Maybe Transformers is designed for a short, like animated show, but people
Also-
are like, oh, they missed the point of the Transformers. No, they haven't. No, they
Also
fucking haven't.
I also told Guillermo del Toro before we tried to make Pacific Rim that like, no one wants to see people punching each other for 2 hours.
I
They want
don't
to see
know.
it done well and not with fucking. Because that's the other thing. The robots were ugly. That was the inexcusable part. They even fucked up the robots. I don't know. I mean, I mean, everyone's ragged on the Transformers series. There's nothing to be gained there. But I mean,
Yeah,
this
fair.
Michael Bay franchise. One thing I think that the action scenes when they were moving, because the thing about the Turtles, even in the cartoon, is that because they have weapons and because they're a PG franchise and they can't use them, and because they aren't naturally aerodynamic in any shape or form, they always look shit when they're moving and fighting.
Yeah.
But I thought in the trailer, actually, when he's like smashing through the truck and stuff, they didn't look terrible.
Actually,
I-
yeah, that's a point. There's a bit it's very short. You sort of see them slide on the mountain, and they don't look as ridiculous as you expect.
Yeah, in combat and in motion, they look kind of alright, and
Yeah.
that's important.
And there
like-
were some jokes.
Yeah,
Like the jokes
Yeah.
weren't bad. I thought the mask joke was funny. I openly laughed at that.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm not gonna go watch it because I don't really want to keep the TMNT franchise alive. But
that's perfectly
and
understandable.
I can imagine I know what I'm gonna get.
yeah,
but,
definitely.
I mean, they could have gone the other way. Like, remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie that had like Nolan North in it? It was completely CG.
Oh, yeah,
And it had
yeah.
Patrick Stewart in it, and that was like really fucking like not
There you go.
like
A Patrick Stewart movie worse than Dungeons and Dragons.
no,
done.
it was really good. It was really good, but it was not light-hearted in any way. No one made a joke. It was people arguing constantly about who was going to be in control of the turtles.
Yeah.
It was really fucking depressing. and like it was just hard going, but it was
Well,
like
that is one
I-
thing.
I-
What
that I
about the
don't think
live
that-
action one where the turtles were played by men in suits?
oh man, well those are terrible.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
we need to watch
before.
that. I want to watch that.
I've seen one of them in a past life where I would probably also think I'd watched Bug's Life by playing the video game. It was like that much of a distant memory. I don't remember it being good.
Need to watch them turtles.
Oh, sorry.
I'd completely forgotten about the live action ones. Yeah, Jesus.
So what remakes are going on as well, Aaron?
Oh yeah, so it's a month of remakes, as most months are basically now, because we're
Whoa.
bankrupt intellectually. So first on our remake list is the Goonies. Let's start by saying what fond memories we have of the Goonies.
Fucking hate the Goonies.
Never seen it.
I watched it 2 years ago. I thought it was absolute trash.
Yeah, I watched it about 5 years ago when I was stuck at a caravan in Wales, and
Oh Christ, that sounds
I-
horrible.
I wished I actually think I turned it off about like when they got to the pirate ship and like the fucking thing, the retard started
Yeah,
swinging.
the retard. God.
Whatever
You
he's
say it
called.
like it's French.
They keep him afterwards, like
Did I?
because at least the
I
kids...
walked out. I
Oh,
like
okay.
just went
You
outside
walk-
and played
you
with a
walk-
ball or
You
something. I
walked
don't
out
know.
into Wales
Yeah.
and got your...
Saw the horrors that were
I went
before
Captain
you.
Oates. I was like, I'm gonna be some time. Just
Was
put
that shitty
myself in
holiday?
this.
Do you think? Was it a
No,
bad
I-
holiday?
Yeah, that was actually an alright holiday, I think.
God, only
When-
child. Where were your parents? They just had watched the Goonies. We're off to make hard love in the next room across in the caravan. It was shaking around.
Oh, those walls are
They're
so
like,
good as
oh my
well.
god, this movie's 4D. But
Here's
But,
the Goonies. We're going to go and see the many sights of Wales, such as a valley, some hills.
but the whole Goonies thing is like it's a really
A
it's just a lot of
castle.
annoying kids on a really boring little journey, and it goes on for way too long.
Yeah,
But
it's
then and then
just-
but the retarded guy they meet up with who's like really fucking deformed. Anyway, so the kid yeah, he just goes blah, blah, the whole time, and the kids like get to know him and they fall in love with him. Anyway, but at the end
Bit
of
weird.
the film,
fucking freak.
the only child they come out of a hole, and the parents of this kid, this like a lonely kid, come out to see him holding the hands of like this really fucking deformed guy who's just talking absolute shit, and he goes, "Can we keep him? Can we keep him?" And the parents go, "Oh, okay then." It's like, what? No one would fucking agree to that offhand. They'd be like, "What the fuck is going on?" What the
Oh,
fuck
I'll
just
keep
happened?
this random guy. Like I've got the expertise to look after someone with this many clear deformities.
Exactly, and plus, remember, like the parents don't know they've been on an adventure. The parents just think they ran
Seen them
away.
come out of the
Yeah,
hole.
they thought they just ran away. They came out of the hole. It was like, what the fuck is that? Put it back in.
Where did you,
Put it
where
back
did
in the
you get
hole.
that?
Do you
What is it
think-
made out of? Put it
Do you
back.
think the sequel's going to cut to them all being 40 and them burying the retard?
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be like Back to the Future, where Biff's like their slave. It's gonna be like that, where they've just been abusing the dude for ages. So
They
there's
just
nothing
make him
else
like
to do. It's
pull
gonna be
a,
like,
Well,
pull a
it'll be like
cornmeal
Met will be like
to make
kicking the
bread.
door in and rescuing him.
But imagine being that actor having to reprise your role 20 years later.
He must be dead.
Like
The guy
he's
playing
probably,
that.
he's probably grown as a person. He's like, actually, I didn't really enjoy doing that. I also don't think that would like work very well now.
It was
Just to have-
demeaning.
just to have- Like, you know, I thought at points like Forrest Gump was a bit much. So I don't think seeing some guy go treasure blah, will be the most fucking great thing to pop in a
I
kid's
just love the
film.
fact that all those kid actors must be now, like, at the bare minimum, 30, like, late 30s.
Josh Brolin's 40.
Yeah.
Like,
Who was in the Goonies?
who's Sam, the guy that plays Samwise Gamgee, who I always forget his name.
I've seen
Sean
that.
Austin?
Yeah, Sean Austin. Yeah, he's in it.
Oh, sure.
And a few other people actually. I reckon the problem with getting back child stars is a few of them are probably crack addicts or
Well,
alcoholics.
there's Corey Feldman, who is definitely not doing anything and definitely needs the money.
Oh shit! But is he gonna turn up on set and he'll be fucking wasted? And Richard Donner's gonna be like, "Oh shit, why did I even bother?" Oh yeah, because Richard Donner's coming back to direct it, isn't
Sean
Yeah,
Penn
Richard-
was in it.
Richard Donner's actually the one spreading all these malicious truths.
he?
We'll
of
have
all
to
the
go-
things to return to, like
Yeah,
be-
why did he take that? I
Yeah,
want
like-
to see the Omen 3.
I want to see a good Superman 3.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
if
no,
only
it's-
everyone involved in that project wasn't either dead or crippled.
Right, should I link to a turtle dick, by the way, just
Yeah,
for a frame of
I
reference?
reckon as we're talking about the Turtle Dicks, it should come up on the screen.
Oh, that's good.
The
I
people
will
to
I'll
enjoy
remember to
Turtle
do
Dick.
that. But yeah, so yeah, that's one of the remakes. Was there another one? Did you say?
Yeah,
I
there's
said-
two more actually. You got
Well, it's
two
not really
more.
remakes, it's
Jesus.
sequels, prolonged sequels. I guess The Incredibles 2 is the first half of that trilogy,
Oh, yeah,
quadrilogy.
true. Well, prolonged sequels is Disney's forte at the moment because we've also got the fucking Star Wars 7, which has now started filming without a full cast, which doesn't strike me as a good move.
Actually, you know
Well,
what?
they've got lots of banthas to film and droids going Houdini and things like that.
To be fair, I mean, considering how the prequels went, you probably don't need actors anymore.
It's
just
true. Well,
just
to
a
be honest,
vague concept.
I don't fully understand how how it's that hard to cast. Like, well, J.J. Abrams basically just needs quite confident men and
Yeah.
quite sassy women. Like,
That's
they
all-
must
that's
be
all
a
his
fucking
characters
dime a
are,
dozen in Hollywood.
so-
It's not trying to like cast like Christoph Waltz in like and like Inglourious Bastards, where they really had to travel and be like, oh my god, we've got to find like this one of a kind actor. Like, oh, I wonder who can fill the role of like making.
Oh, what
like,
was do you remember like the thing I auditioned for? What was it? Like a streetwise
Yeah,
man
yeah.
with
Oh, did
with
you actually
daddy
audition?
issues?
You didn't get a callback?
No.
Oh shit, you
That's
didn't.
fucking.
Oh man.
That's a
Oh
disgrace.
shit.
I mean,
'Cause
I thought I was pretty streetwise.
I assumed
but-
I assumed that you were doing this from set.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I thought you were
After
saying
all
that
those
they'd literally
blowjobs
just
as
started
well.
filming without the full cast now because you were busy doing a podcast. You couldn't be in the shots.
they're like, you're Kane Skywalker. You've got to come in. Like, no,
Kane.
it's one of the. I think it's one of the. I might have been. I think that's one of the extended universe Skywalkers.
Fair enough.
Because isn't there Kane in it? I can't remember.
Kane and
There's
Lynch.
Oh
another
shit,
Kane.
Cain
Back
and
to Kane and Lynch.
Cain and Abel. Look at that symbolism. They're gonna do
Mm,
that.
already.
Oh, that's bloody clever.
That
But,
is bloody clever.
Also, by the way,
That's
if any like imbalance is brought to the Force,
Yep.
like in the seventh one, that
Utter
means
disaster.
like what does it mean? Like Anakin brought balance to the Force for what, like 6 years?
30 years it's happening in forward of. So.
I thought Balance of the Force was bad because that means the Sith come back.
Well, no, they seem to talk about balance to the Force being good because it would even out the numbers, but obviously I don't think they thought that evening out the numbers is a terrible idea, as there's like thousands of you and 2 of them.
No, because balance to the Force is just no Sith.
Well, no, I think balance to the Force means
It just means
equal...
it's perfect.
Well, no,
I
but yeah,
don't-
but
I
it
don't-
meant, but then there was no one left but Luke, who was equal parts Jedi and Sith. That was balance to the Force, but that means it being reduced to a person who is
Oh,
a Force user.
I thought it was just like the Force being balanced
No,
means
'cause
it
at the
has
end,
to
Darth
be
Vader dies
completely
and-
uncorrupted.
No, because Darth Vader dies, Sidious
Yeah.
dies, and so he is the last one.
Yeah, but
He
it's
is the
uncorrupted.
balance.
He's all good.
No, he's not all good,
How is he not all good?
because he has the darkness inside of him.
Does he?
Yeah,
Who,
because
Skywalker?
what's the whole talk about in the last thing where Sidious is like, embrace the darkness within you? Luke has clear darkness in him.
No, he doesn't, and he beats it because he's like, I don't have any
Palpatine,
Well,
dark
no,
that's
yeah,
side
he
in me.
beats
Fuck
it,
you.
but it's there.
Oh fuck, it is Sidious, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
Wait,
just Sidious is just talking
No,
shit.
no.
So what, he's just trying to piss him up. Sidious would be like, "Oh, do you remember fucking your mom? Fucking your mom?" And he'd be like, "I never fucked my mom." And he'd be like, "Oh yeah, you did. Don't you remember? Go on, get angry." He's just putting bullshit in him.
No,
There's no darkness. He's trying
he's
to.
the son of Anakin Skywalker, the evilest Sith ever. He has darkness in him. That's part of the plot.
But
That's
no,
why
that's not how
it's not
darkness
balanced
is
to the Force if
transferred.
there's only one good Jedi left.
What about Leia?
Leia's not a Jedi yet.
Yes, she is.
yes, she is. Well, in EU anyway.
Yeah, in the
Not in the
extended
films.
universe,
The
she is,
films
but not by
sort
the
of
end of
go-
the films.
You
Well,
kiss
she
your
will be in the
sister, like-
seventh one, and then it'll be what, 3/4 good to a quarter bad? Shit. Then what
Yep.
are we gonna do? It's too
Well,
much.
But I don't
Almost
think
like George Lucas is a terrible writer.
because the dark side is bad. The films are pretty much saying that dark side makes you a genocidal maniac. So why do you want balance in the Force?
The
Give me
balance
the
of the
dark
this is why the
Force
prophecy's
is,
retarded.
is all the
It's
Force
like-
being good.
No, it's not.
That's the balance.
It's like in the Harry Potter films where it's like as soon as you are put in the Harry Potter films into the House Slytherin, you should just be euthanized because you're clearly evil.
Because remember, Harvey, like they're talking about balance to the Force in episode 1, where
Yeah.
they, as far as they know, there are no Sith left, but they're still trying to bring balance to the Force.
Oh man, those 3 films don't count. Those 3 films, there's
Well, in
no
that case,
too
there's
many.
no point talking about balance to the Force because it doesn't actually occur in
I
any
know
of
there's
the
no
4, 5, and
prophecy. I don't
6.
even know what you're talking about. I don't remember a prophecy. La 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 la. Do you remember a prophecy from the 4th one? I mean,
so did the
first
Jedi
one.
kill all the Sith?
Well,
Because that seemed pretty
yeah.
dark sidey of them.
Well, remember, there was a giant Sith versus Jedi war several times in like Knights of
Yeah.
the Old Republic and stuff.
Like thousands.
But I
of
suppose
years
again
ago,
the
wasn't it?
Sith were pretty much like pure evil as you could get. So it kind of
Yeah,
seems
well,
like perhaps they
it's-
should have wiped them out. Like there's got to be a point where you got to draw the line, as it were.
I'm surprised they didn't explode more planets. Could have gotten the job done. Yeah, they barely ever used the fucking Death Star.
Yeah, they really didn't. I guess it's because they didn't want to destroy vast amounts of their economic base. But I mean, they probably could have.
They have an entire galaxy.
Well, yeah,
be
but I
alright.
mean, it cost them enough to, it was a struggle to build the Death Star itself. Like the Empire is pretty fractured.
They built it twice. They built one pretty fucking quick.
Well, that's
Well,
because
they
they were in
built
a
the
state of
second one even quicker.
emergency. Yeah.
Well,
Oh
because when
shit!
in
Why
which
does
was
it orbit as well? What a useless weapon!
Yeah.
It orbits around planets. Like that's what you destroy the planet you're on and then float off to the next one. Is that the idea? Is that how the travel?
They've got to time it so it just pings off into space in the rough direction of the next solar system they need to land in.
This is why it took them so long to destroy the Rebel Alliance. They misjudged it twice because they
Yeah,
already
yeah.
knew the job.
Does it have to be so big? So we just need a big long. You just need that cannon and that's it.
Yeah, leave the rest of the ball.
Yeah, like you don't need the rest. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I think it's I don't know. I remember I think it's implied that the power required is in the rest of it. That's why there's a giant column going through the middle.
Oh right.
Are you gonna go and watch the seventh Star Wars?
I guess.
Because I feel like I'm contractually obliged to now, but I
Yeah,
don't
well,
want to.
that's
I'm
what they're
never
relying
watching
on.
another Star Wars film again.
It's going to be the biggest.
The Star Trek, I mean.
No,
Abrams though, it'll be
I'm not
shiny.
going to watch Star Trek 3.
No, me neither. But Star Wars, I mean, it might be better. I don't see because it's never going to be great. I mean, I was rewatching the other ones. They're just really good adventure films. Like they're not.
Yeah, they're
They're not-
fantasy. They're
Yeah,
pure,
and like, but
pure
it's like
whimsy.
people are expecting some sort of amazing thing, and I don't know. It's just like I don't see how there'd be anything more than a generic action film that would come out
Yeah,
because it's
well,
Abrams firstly.
I'm going to, like I said, I watched the 7th one. I guess that will judge whether I watched the 8th or the 9th. But yeah, what the hell? I mean,
You know?
it's big.
Hard life choices.
Yeah, exactly. First world problems.
All right. Well, I hope obviously they give you a call back for the 8th and 9th. Maybe you can play like sort of Guido or whatever the fuck it was. Maybe they'll bring you in.
You know who I'm playing. It's a
Guido? What, like Jersey Shore? He's playing this.
No,
He's playing the situation.
he means Greedo.
Greedo.
The guy who
Lucas
hands
No,
off.
not
Situation
Greedo. I
Skywalker.
mean something else. I mean the fucking Jewish one that sells shit.
Oh, Watto.
Watto, that's it.
Oh, you fucking
Jewish one.
racist. You anti-Semite.
What are you talking about? I'm not. George Lucas is the
No,
anti-Semite.
calling him
wrote...
Greedo.
Oh shit! Well, whatever. I actually met Greedo,
You did.
as you know.
You
yeah.
got his signature, yeah.
I did. We had a very awkward conversation, me and Paul Walker, who plays him. It was really fun. I went up and he said, "Oh, so you watched that Game of Thrones then, do you?" And I went, "Yep." And he went, Who's that actor in it? That actor." And I went, "I don't know. You talk about Tywin, maybe? That's Charles Dance." And he was like, "Oh, I've never seen it, so I wouldn't know any of the character names. But who's the actor that's in it?" And I went, I don't know, Paul. I don't know." And then he like signed my thing. But it was like, I know he's got to make small talk, but don't make small talk about something you've never seen. He must have seen me and thought, this is the average nerd that wants to just talk about Game of Thrones. And I was like, that's an insulting thing to do, Paul Walker, and it was awkward. And I want my signature for free now, not the £5 that you're charging. Ludicrous prices.
I
That
hope
was my
he's on
meet-
tour this summer as well.
Oh, me too. But that was my meeting with Guido.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
I still think you should have asked him about the whole hand shot first thing. That would have been perfect.
That might have pissed him off.
I guess.
Like really pissed him off. He looked pretty dead inside. I think I might
Maybe
have...
he probably can't muster the will to get pissed anymore.
Yeah, it's true. he just shuts down. Like I doubt he probably hasn't even seen it. He probably doesn't even give a shit.
But he hasn't seen the. Maybe he hasn't seen the digitally remastered Star Wars.
Why would he?
Because
But,
he's in it.
So, I mean, like, Johnny Depp doesn't watch his own movies.
What at all?
Yeah, apparently he doesn't. He doesn't like it.
Oh.
I can see that. I can see where that would be weird.
Yeah.
I guess.
Definitely.
But maybe he started from the Lone Ranger. Maybe it's a new policy.
Doesn't watch his own films because they're all shite.
Because recently it's not been great.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have 2 more remakes, but we pretty much blew all our time on the Goonies.
Fair enough. So what was the other remake?
Terminator Genesis, which is the one with Emily Clarke and Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, and then we've got Police Academy, which is being made by a couple of guys from the original Police Academy.
Oh shit! What a fucking ridiculous splinter group.
How many were there Police Academies in the end?
13, I think.
Fucking hell.
Pretty sure there's 13. I've definitely seen 13.
How many of them are fan remakes though?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I always thought like the Police Academy cast was like it was better than Carry On. Like it was like they were pretty fucking talented, a lot of them, weren't they? Or
Some of them were, yeah.
I don't know. I've seen one. I think I've seen two of them when I was a wee bairn, so I
I
can't
know there was
remember
an
at all.
animated series.
Police Academy 7, Mission to Moscow was the last one. Then,
No, oh, number 8. Oh no, number 8's the one that's being made. Okay,
oh, okay.
2014. 20 years after Mission to
Oh,
Moscow. What the
God,
fuck
they're
were
all
they
gonna be
doing in
so
Moscow?
fat. Why are they gonna? What are they gonna do? What? Are they,
Be old.
what are they? Yeah, but they're not. None of them will be working for the police anymore. Oh my God! What about the small black woman who's just got a really screechy voice? Damn, they've got to like dig her out the woodwork, like just so she can reprise that hilarious
Shit,
joke.
guys. Christopher Lee and Ron Perlman were the bad guys in Mission to Moscow, and they were both playing Russians.
Oh, actually, I'm quite excited because one of the writers who's writing it also wrote Evolution, and I do very much love Evolution. Actually,
Is-
two of the guys who are writing it wrote Evolution.
Would
Evolution
you,
was
is
a
that
great movie.
Evolution the thing that had animated had a cartoon about
Yeah,
it?
with David
Yeah.
Duchovny. It
Yeah.
was like, if there's an alien
it.
scum running out on the run, say goodbye to evolution. I remember watching it with my small baby brother, and not big, and he was yeah, and he was yeah, and we were watching it, and he said, which one of them's called Evolution? And I just went, all right, you are clearly not understanding the film then.
That's cringeworthy.
Well, he's really young, and it's like it is that thing that every show he watches, like Ben 10 or something, is named after the character. So he just
True.
assumed.
Iron Man.
I mean, fuck. Like, I don't know what shows he watched. Like, if he watched like 28 Days Later, he must have been incredibly confused.
Do you reckon he assumes there are 3 characters called 28 Days and Later, or do you reckon he assumes that one character is called 28 Days Later?
Possibly. Although, if you took that as a rule, that the title of the film always had to have a character in the film named as it, every film would come across as so fucking pretentious. Like having 3
Yes.
heroes called 28 Days Later, it'd be like, oh, fuck you. It'd be like.
I think
Oh,
it would
but
just limit the amount of names that people would use dramatically.
definitely. But
So
Yeah.
Godzilla,
Godzilla.
second non-consecutive month running.
Oh yeah, so no one's excited about Terminator, right?
Nope, no one
Yeah.
cares about
Don't give a shit.
Terminator.
Especially with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
Because I'm assuming
Because
we all watched.
Arnold.
Did we all watch Retribution or whatever it was called?
Oh fuck.
Terminator-
Salvation.
Terminator
Terminator
Salvation. That's the one.
I did. I was I
Yeah.
was mighty unimpressed.
Not enamored.
But because
Think I've seen it.
there's massive plot holes in it.
Yeah. Do you guys remember the submarine full of world leaders, but they're all like World War II pastiches? Like there's like a Japanese imperial guy just sitting there next to like the president, and it's implied that like humanity is being run from this submarine of 20 guys.
Well, it would be nice to see John Connor's story properly, but it's like
Yeah,
Christian
but we
Bale's
never
not going to
will.
be in the next one. It's like, yeah, I mean, they even had like some weird. I know obviously the entire series has always had plot holes. Like even the entire idea of the Terminator coming back in time to change
Yeah.
the future to change the past is a bit paradoxical. But yeah, this one was like it had like Skynet setting up Skynet before.
Yep.
Like any of the events in the film had happened. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
But I mean, just time travel handled poorly. But yeah, I mean, let's. I don't know. Unless you want to talk about Terminator, I don't.
No, I think it's sad that Arnold Schwarzenegger is going back to do it. He should really know better by now. But oh well.
He has no standards. I don't feel.
That's
I mean,
true.
he's in the Expendables 3 as well. I think so. I think he's just given up.
Shit, even Bruce Willis wasn't invited back to do that.
Well, Bruce Willis is supposed to just be an asshole, like judging from most people's comments
Yeah.
about him.
I've only just noticed that since Kevin Smith started complaining about him, but he just seemed to become more of an asshole.
Yeah, Kevin Smith opened the floodgates.
Yeah.
Did you see his? Well, when he was supposed to be promoting Red 2, and he just
Bruce Willis.
doesn't give a. He just doesn't give a fuck. Like people are talking like, "Do you want to talk about a film?" He just sort of goes, "Ugh." Like he just literally doesn't give a shit anymore. Like he
Yeah.
just he turns
Well-
up, he does some sort of acting for a bit, gets paid, and then just as far as
Which-
he's concerned, his job is done.
Which I can see why that would happen if he just wants dollar, but like if he's got enough money and he still wants to act, why doesn't he do it in a role that he cares about and then he'd be excited?
Yeah, because he was in
Mm.
Moonrise Kingdom with Wes Anderson, and he seemed to be fairly on board with that. It just seems like why you keep doing these action roles.
Maybe
Like,
he's
has he
got.
got a really
Yeah.
bad addiction or something?
Yeah, he must
He's
just
not-
have like a compulsion for money, I guess.
Because during the late 90s, early 2000s, he definitely started doing more like interesting roles, and
Well,
then he
Pulp
sort of
Fiction
he did Pulp Fiction, he did Unbreakable, he did well, he
arguably
did The Sixth
revitalized his
Sense.
career.
He did loads, and then
Yeah.
he just started doing shit again. It was like, well, it's not even shit. It's just like it's clearly stuff that he doesn't enjoy. I don't get that.
Oh no, I think we can classify Red 2 under shit.
Because he's pretty funny. Like when you watch interviews with him, he always takes the piss out of his like blockbuster film award being like the only thing he's ever won. But
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
yeah,
he's
it's
not.
not-
He's not like Robert De Niro levels of shit when it comes to interviews. I agree, but
well,
he's
Robert
not.
De Niro is just weird. Robert De Niro seems
He
to
sh-
really care so much that he can't even get fucking words out.
He
Did you
doesn't care
see-
at all.
I can't remember what film it was. It's the one with that video of Morgan Freeman reading what does the fox say? And it's like Morgan Freeman, De Niro's there, and literally nobody in that room gives a single fuck that they're there. They're all just sat in a room having to do promotion. It's in their contract, and they're not interested whatsoever. And
I
it's that one where
haven't.
they're all old people going to Vegas for one last old
Oh.
person
Oh.
adventure.
Oh,
Yes.
Last Vegas.
That something like that, yeah.
What a name!
Great name. That's like the best title pun you can get from Las Vegas.
Well, it's so simple.
Just put a tail on it.
Last.
Make it about old people, which implies they're gonna be dead next time they try and do it.
Do you reckon
Yeah.
they were like in a room trying to think of a name for it, and one guy was just like so happy that he did the mental legwork to get there, like last.
I think that someone came up with that pun first.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Oh,
the
then
film,
they
the
made a
film
movie
writes
about it.
itself. Definitely.
Jesus.
Writes itself. Maybe
must be-
right is the wrong word, but it appears.
Because if that was like
Formulate.
because if it was from
Yeah.
like imagine if it was from a first time writer, he was telling his family like I'm gonna make it big, and everyone was like, what's your film called? And it's called Last Vegas. Like that would be a very embarrassing title to say.
No one would ever go, "What's it about?" They go, "Oh, what old people have you got?"
yeah, yeah, of course.
Yeah, God.
Oh, of course. But
So
yeah, should we move away from the then-
shitty remakes.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, we got Godzilla.
Gojira.
And the new trailer that came out like 3 days ago, I think now.
really stoked.
Which
Yeah,
puts it not
I'm-
in March. If I just point that out.
Oh
Put-
fuck, yeah,
Well,
you're right.
well, let's leave it. Should we talk
Yep,
about how
done.
people went nuts for the Malaysian flight MH370?
So we talk about Godzilla anyway because it's more interesting than
Well-
anything else that's happened in March, apparently.
Well, we can talk about it in April if you want. It depends how much you want to stick to the month.
Well, it might be
schedule.
out in April, isn't it? Or is it
Hmm?
out in May? Oh damn! I can barely talk about Godzilla. I want it so much.
Let's just talk about Godzilla.
All right,
we,
well-
we talked about Godzilla last week. There's nothing.
No, we
to talk
talked about Godzilla January. We didn't talk
Week.
about February, I don't think.
No, we did, and there's
Oh.
nothing. Is there anything more to say about Godzilla?
Yeah, there's a new extended trailer, and he's fighting another monster. It's amazing.
Yeah, a monster. Because in the first one, where it's
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston going, "You've got no idea what's over next," like over words. It sounds like a Dalek, but he does. Like you see the jets falling out the air. You
Yeah.
can't see Godzilla anywhere. And so I think it was like, well, who's doing that? They just sort of finally admitted that there is another
Yeah,
monster
Oh, that was
that
it.
can,
No,
we've
we've seen
fly.
we've seen concept art of it. We even see it in the trailer. You see like its claw and beaks and stuff.
Yeah, but you never get a show, like a full show of it. But now we have, because they've released some merchandise, and you can see what it is and what it's called.
What was it called again?
It's called Hokmotu.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's a
I'm pretty
Cloverfield
happy.
monster. It's a goth version of the Cloverfield monster.
I also like. I didn't realize, but I also like the backstory to Godzilla this time, because like Mr. Tohu, the guy who made Godzilla originally, stipulated that it must be in Japan and that he must come from a nuclear incident.
Yeah.
And what they did is they've made a fictionalized version of the power plant leak that occurred after the tsunami.
Yeah.
And I thought that was quite a nice modern day tie-in to Godzilla.
I
Oh,
thought-
the recent tsunami.
I
Yeah,
thought,
the recent nuclear
I
power plant incident.
I thought Godzilla had been like,
You
because they're
mean?
like, you were trying to kill him during the 50s and now he's back.
Well, yeah, but this is why he. I thought this was why, or maybe it's Hokmotu then. Something has been caused by the power leak, the
Oh,
nuclear
okay.
leak, because that's
Well,
what
we
he's talking
Hokmotu,
about by
'cause-
Unleashed.
Godzilla's all like, are they meant to have been blown up since the 50s or?
Yeah, well, he's based on Japan's nuclear radiation fears from the 50s, isn't he? So
Hmm.
I
So
didn't
they keep-
realize that this was the same Godzilla. I thought this was a reboot again.
No, so yeah, it's the same Godzilla. They tried to kill him back then,
Yeah.
and he's been in like hibernation. Now he's back.
And bigger.
Back
Like
and
literally
bigger.
quite bigger.
He looks fucking terrifying. And also, I was watching the trailer with Bryan Cranston's like like backstory. Just like the door shuts, like the way Bryan Cranston plays it, just even in that short trailer, it's like shit. Like that is such a fucking good performance. What is
He's
he
all
doing in this film?
Yeah.
It's yeah. I think it might be weirdly good.
I think it's quite telling that
Yeah.
that the two Breaking Bad stars went on to do Godzilla and Need for Speed respectively.
I think Brian chose a better project.
Yes.
Because anyone could have told that Need for Speed would have just been a really shitty version of Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I feel Aaron Paul dropped the ball there.
Which, as we know, is a shitty version of The Taking of Pelham 123.
Well, thinking how I look at it, that Aaron Paul is just a poor man's Paul Walker. Like, it all makes so much sense now.
True.
Is he?
But, well, now he's not. Now he's the new Paul Walker.
I guess now he is Paul Walker, yeah, Jesus.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen the. I don't know. I've seen Breaking Bad and I've seen Fast and Furious, and I don't think calling him the poor man's
But
Paul
have you seen
Walker is
Need for
entirely
Speed?
fair. Well, it's not out yet, is it?
Yeah, it is. It's been out for like.
It's been out for
months.
ages.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, Aaron Paul did it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, I'm out
Apparently
of
it's
touch with
terrible.
things.
Have you not seen? Yeah, I actually watched it through completely legal means, and it was shit. And he is a poor man's Paul Walker.
Why
But
did
he's
you
good in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, he's really good in Breaking Bad, but he doesn't. I don't know. He's just because he's trying to portray emotions beyond the word bitch.
Well, the weird thing I don't get about like, because I'd have thought. I mean, maybe he just wanted a break to like go and do something that was a bit less acting intensive. But I can't imagine those films are actually that fun to make because
I
they're
think,
such.
no, I think what he wanted to do was
they're
make
such
it-
quick cuts.
he
Like you
wanted
barely
to
get any
cement his
time to-
name as a movie star, and he took the first biggest project he was offered, which
Oh,
was
shit.
probably that.
And the
Oh.
Fast and Furious franchise has been huge recently.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure it's not the first time that a TV star's been like, I really need to cement my name as a movie star before the TV hype wore off, because Breaking Bad was ending.
But I
so-
don't know why he needs to like because I don't know, just
Maybe
TV.
he's worried.
TV seems a lot more of an interesting place to work at the moment, but I guess getting a TV show might be slightly harder. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was a weird project to pick. I mean, I'm surprised there wasn't something else good that was going.
Maybe he thought it was like what he's, I don't know.
Yeah, he might be chasing fame now. Maybe he's gone mad.
Yeah.
Taste and status, bruv.
But
Drop-
so,
Who
so,
did
so
the Harry Brown theme music?
what?
Did they?
Yeah.
One of my mates, her dad's in Chase and Status. He's not Chase and Status. Harry Brown, sorry.
That was pretty
He's
cool.
the drug dealer that's getting sucked off before Harry Brown shoots him.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, Harry
A
Brown.
very prestigious role.
Acting credit.
Did
Well,
either of you like Harry Brown?
No.
Yeah.
No. I remember.
I think it was a wasted concept.
I was at a kayaking like thing that my mom had booked me into because she wanted me to finish my Duke of Edinburgh, and I was there with all these other people, and we were picking a film to watch, and I was like, "Please, can we watch District 9? It's really good." And
It
this
is
other
really
guy
good.
was saying, "Yeah, but like I've heard that Harry Brown is like a really cool action film," and I was like, "I assure you, District 9 will be better." And he won out because he had more social dollars than I did, and it was crap. So fuck that guy.
It's
Yeah.
fucking crap. It's a shit.
Me and
film.
Alec actually went for a similar situation where I wanted to watch Memento, and our group of friends were swayed by his blasé attitude of endorsing Black Dynamite.
And guess which one's a more entertaining film?
Definitely
Memento.
Memento.
No, it's Black Dynamite. You're wrong.
But Black Dynamite, I watched it again. It wasn't actually even that funny.
Yes, it is.
I've seen it twice. The first time it was hilarious, and the second time I wasn't drunk,
It's
and it was
fuck-
and it
it's
was
a fucking
fine.
brilliant film. It's a good
fine.
film.
It has like some of the it's got barely any jokes in it.
It's nothing but jokes. It's
It's
literally that's the
But
entire film is
it's-
jokes.
But some of them are so
It's-
fucking subtle that it's like this isn't even a parody. This is just a boring black exploitation film.
No, the whole film is a joke. It's built of jokes. It's a house of jokes built on a foundation of puns.
I don't know. Was everyone else impressed, Aaron?
Yeah, quite a few of them enjoyed it.
Well, is
Not
that
as
all
much,
Memento,
not as much
which
as
is
they'd have theoretically enriched their minds with Memento. But
who wants
alas.
to sit around with mates and drink beers and watch fucking Memento?
I don't
I've
think
done
we were,
that.
I don't think we were
Be
drinking.
sad forever.
You weren't even drinking. See, Alec, you've made the night cooler than it really was.
Yeah, we weren't drinking.
There was a bunch of people just watching fucking Black Dynamite without
I've got to be
drinking.
perfectly honest. I actually don't remember the night that he's talking about. So he's mentioned it before, and I've actually got no idea what he's talking about. So
Yeah,
I've gone on with it. I haven't got a fucking clue.
We were, yeah. I mean, it's because
Where were we?
We were at Esme's house. I've just got a better memory than you, or Esme's flat at the time.
I'm sure the people listening in will benefit greatly from knowing there's
I've got no idea when that is.
Fair enough. Well, you were there, trust me.
We went there once and we had cake, and then we went there another time. I can't remember.
Well, this is the problem with having a good memory, because you always remember everything people don't.
Oh, Aaron.
Oh, the hard life of Aaron Chapman. I remember things that are difficult to remember.
I'm always having a conversation with myself.
Oh,
because only I remember events that happened.
I think Memento's a really good film to put on at a party.
What is this?
Everyone sit down. Let's watch Das Boot.
I just when it was just me and one of you.
You've got 4 hours free, right, guys?
Let's all sit down and listen to the War and Peace audio
That's
tapes.
it. We're doing 2 separate podcasts, one with one of you and one with the other.
I was really pissed off. I started watching Das Boot, and I was 3 hours in, and then my dad was like, "I'm taking you home now." And I was so fucking angry. I've invested so much time into Das Boot, and it was actually really fucking good. But I don't want to watch it again because I don't remember where I was, and I don't want to watch the whole fucking 4 hours.
I think you're at the bit within the submarine.
Probably.
And they're German.
I hope it's not a bit where the submarine's having trouble. Or else, I'm gonna be really fucked. What does Das Boot mean? Does it just mean the boot?
The boat.
The boat.
Yeah,
oh right.
Boat.
Okay.
Boot is German for boat. It's not a boat. It's a submarine. There you go. Movie mistake 101. It's not a boat, it's a submarine. Robert Webb's on the case. Don't worry about that. We'll get 2 series out of that one.
So Malaysian flight. Go on. We're not going to talk about Malaysian flight because obviously it's very sad when people burn to death and then drown in a plane. Like no one would laugh at that. But the sort of general social madness that seems to have surrounded discussions of it. I've had to get in several discussions about it at work.
You haven't had to.
No, seriously, I get fucking. They're bored. They're like, "What's your opinion on it?" Well, we're having lunch, and I just said, "Oh, it's probably crashed into the ocean." That belief that it had probably just crashed in the ocean was really just demonstrated what's wrong with the way people think.
It was viewed as madness.
Well, it was immediately sort of discarded, not because it was crazy or ridiculous.
Can't talk about it.
But because it wasn't interesting enough.
Yeah.
It was a bit too realistic. It was like, oh, what? We can't talk about it now that you've said something that probably did happen. So what is this? People are so obsessed with fucking mysteries. Like, clearly there's not enough good TV on it or something, because people had to, like, go absolutely fucking mental to come up with all their ridiculous theories.
Well, it combines 2 things. It combines people's perception of what broad-minded is by imagining that stupid shit can happen in the world. Yeah. And also it allows you to talk at lengths about something that you don't need to validate.
Yeah.
Like, it's people's favourite hobbies combined.
Yeah, because people can just shout their opinion back and forth, and
they can't
matter
be wrong,
who's right.
They are wrong. Everyone else is wrong. So
and even if it turns out they are wrong, that's conspiracy theory. Why isn't my theory right?
What was your favourite theories?
Well, Aaron, do you want to go first?
Yeah, mine's probably less interesting than yours actually, but mine was actually someone I witnessed terrifyingly firsthand on Facebook. And it was
Aaron gripped by fear on his laptop. Facebook.
Why I use that thing?
Dear God.
And remember, Alec, he remembers all of them, so he constantly remembers the fear. The fear's always there in him, like Luke.
He's like Google News archive for Facebook statuses.
I relive every memory at once, permanently. It's amazing I function.
Fucking hell, Mr. Manhattan.
So
like Dr. Manhattan.
If we can take a moment from bashing me to
Aaron Manhattan.
Do we have to though?
Fine, you can continue if you want.
Go on then, Aaron. What's your favourite theory?
What's your favourite theory?
Oh, actually, just tell us all the theories that happened, since you probably fucking recall all of them.
Just recap March for us.
Yeah.
Is that alright?
Okay, David, March 1st. My birthday. Neither of you said happy birthday. March 2nd.
Yes, I did.
I cut myself. Anyway.
I cut happy birthday into you. I think you'll find.
Yeah, you did actually. He didn't.
So, theory, go on.
Theory.
Special.
So this guy who runs a disco at a pub in Portishead,
All right.
who's like
Right.
renowned for being a conspiracy nut.
A disco
some-
in a pub, by
Well, I
the
was just meant
way.
to ignore
Not
that.
just a disco, and neither does he run the pub. He runs the disco in the pub.
In the pub. The pub and him are separate institutions.
Good, yeah.
Brilliant. So, right. Terrifying insight to who Aaron hangs out with
I don't-
outside of this.
Go on.
And he's known for being a conspiracy theorist or whatever, which is a terrible thing to be known for anyway. And some idiot asked him what he felt had happened to the flight, and he went on like a massive, about kind of 6 or 7 page paragraph, whatever.
On Facebook,
Yeah, on Facebook.
not like over the disco.
That's
I
not sick.
want to dance to ABBA.
He actually
He's like,
mixed
no,
it.
you got to hear my fucking
You
theory
listen.
about it.
It was the
The
reptilians, I tell you.
The first letter of every song spelled out the point he was trying to convey. It was... And it was all about how it was going to be a false flag operation against the Chinese.
Played Dancing
that
Queen
they-
backwards. Aliens. That's what it is. Go on,
Queen
go on.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And
Against
And-
the Chinese.
against the Chinese, and that they'd abducted
Why?
this Malaysian airline. The CIA had abducted this Asian airliner, but something had gone wrong, and so they had to land it somewhere in like Kazakhstan or something and deconstruct the plane and then shoot all the civilians, and that it was like a massive cover up.
What?
Why?
Why? Because apparently this false flag operation went wrong.
Because
what went wrong? What were they?
because
why were they-
America wants to declare war on China, a
And
war
he-
they would
yeah.
definitely win.
And
Obviously.
And there were things like how the 2 Iranian passports that came out at the beginning, the 2 Iranian immigrants who had an Italian and an Austrian passport, that they like faked them and they were going to fake more passports, etc. So it made it look like more dodgy people were on there that we didn't know about.
Ugh.
And it was just like the ramblings of a madman.
I have a couple of favourites.
Go
My
on.
first one's very simple. It's from Reddit. It's they flew up. And that's pretty much the end of it. Is that they went off radar because they flew above the radar, which
And they
implies
didn't notice. They were like, "Oh, there's no fucking clouds here.
Yeah.
Why is everything gone
Which
black?"
implies they flew a very long way.
Oh fuck,
as
there's
well.
a star.
Oh, why?
what's that?
Oh, hang on. Why
Ooh.
have we stopped flying
It's the
up?
start-
Because you
it's the
can't,
start
because
of-
the air pressure's too low.
It's the start of Prey when you're looking out the window and a plane comes through it. Then the other one is that it was a test because there weren't there 5 people from some company that had electric in the title, and so the theory was they were testing a form of airplane camouflage on a plane full of civilians over Malaysia, rather than testing it on a plane in their back garden like most companies do.
Well, yeah, because the
This is
idea
fucking-
is if the experiment fails, you don't want anyone to know about it. Not you don't want everyone to question it for
To
weeks.
die.
Because with that theory, the solution was they would then have a problem where a plane would disappear off radar and then come back, and then everyone would be like, "Well, why did it disappear off radar? That's pretty weird." And also, they'd have to smuggle this fucking huge radar, like airplane camouflage device on. And the worst case scenario is they've blown up a civilian jet. It's just like, it's just such a stupid theory. It just reeks of I'm bored on the internet. Corporation bad, me good.
Yeah, that is
Just-
really lazy corporation bashing.
Well,
Yeah.
I was listening to the radio on the way home from a a hard day at work, discussing the airplane,
At the coalface.
and yeah, so I was driving home, and I caught mentalness, but live on radio, and I've never had that before. I've never been in the right place at the right time. I usually see stuff on YouTube after the fact.
Bit like Radio 5 Live when they ring in about
Yeah,
what's your opinion on the French? Oh, we should kill them all because in 1066 they came over here and they stole our cheese. That sort of thing.
Well, this one was on I think it was Birmingham local radio, or it might have been like Coventry, Warwickshire, something like that. But it was a guy asking people to call in to talk about their theories. One guy called in who could barely speak any English. Started talking about something that they talked about like weeks ago on the show. So he'd asked this question. The first guy calls in, talks about how the police don't enforce the seatbelt rule well, and he went, "All right, we'll talk about it later." And then a bloke called Dave called up and went, "It's two theories, really. There's two theories. The first one, he said only two options. Only two options this could
So
be.
in the whole realm of possibility, the
Yeah.
planes has appeared, and there are two possible solutions.
Two
The
possible
solution-
theories.
And the
Thanks, Dave.
solutions are...
It was either the North Koreans have stolen it because they need planes. Oh yeah,
They
because the North Korean airlines are so fucking in debt that they just nick planes. Oh, he's like, they've taken it, they've resprayed it, you'll never find it.
They've re-sprayed it! It's not that you've nicked a Ford Fiesta from a little car park, you fucking idiot.
Too much
you can't just
GTA.
you can't just re-spray it and put a
Yeah.
different... Oh my god!
And then just took like the
Heat
people
loss.
as work labour or something.
Oh yeah, because
But,
that's really easy to keep quiet.
Yeah, so they took them, and then and then so it was. He said, or aliens.
Or aliens, the
Yeah.
finest two words of the English language, and put in that order.
So he went, or aliens have taken it, and to look at our technology, to experiment on our technology.
to
And he
steal a
went-
plane.
He went, all right, and then it was funny because one of the presenters said like, "Oh Christ, well if they've heard these two people on the radio just now, they'll probably want to leave us alone." But then and then some other woman called in afterwards. She went,
You know what? I actually agree with the aliens thing. I actually agree. If you looked up into the sky with your telescopes, you'd probably see a plane floating around, like orbiting.
and it's like, yeah, but NASA haven't noticed that. NASA were like, oh fuck, there seems to be a fucking aeroplane interfering with all of our systems. That must be
That's
fucking annoying.
Has someone talked to Reddit about this? They seem to know what they're on about. Oh,
I
it
love
just flew up.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that. I love that the aliens are so lazy as well. They would only teleport an aeroplane not into their fucking ship, but just to orbit around
They've
the
hu-
Earth.
they're
Like
just
hovering
whatever,
it
we'll put it
vaguely
halfway
up.
in.
Just sort of
Yeah.
put it up a bit. Like,
Yeah. Like
wasn't
what?
it that the aliens have come all the way across the vast, unfathomable reaches of space to come and sort of look at our shitty planes? Like,
Yeah.
look at that.
And
That's
not,
exciting.
and then just dump it in orbit. Like yeah, whatever.
Oh, there you go. Like, they wouldn't take one that's been parked and left behind and no one wouldn't really notice for a while. No, we'll take that one that's flying and full of people that will go,
It's
and
closer
try
to
and
the
fight
man.
us.
It's
Of course.
closer.
It's closer.
And- and-
They
and
don't
as-
have to come quite as far.
And as we know, it's much easier to teleport something that's traveling at 300 miles an hour than something that's dead
With
still.
239 people. on it.
Exactly.
Well,
Oh,
you
Christ.
know, it's already up, so the momentum's there already. You don't have to lift it. It's already done. It's already up in the air for you.
It was
It's just
actually like
catching
a
it, really.
Tom and Jerry cartoon. They just adjusted the nose of the plane and it all flew up. It was really useful.
One fucking genius. Then he called up and he said, "She's definitely in the water." And I was like, "All right, fair enough." And he
It's
went,
good.
"But
In
it
Atlantis.
has to have crashed straight nose down. Straight nose down. It has to have crashed straight nose down. It couldn't have landed on the water because it would still be there. It's crashed straight nose down." He just kept saying straight nose down, which I guess is just like literally. But why would an airplane
Has
have
he seen-
water at that angle?
At that angle, like
Yeah.
something's gone really wrong at that point. The plane's not even gliding anymore. It's just
Yeah.
gone. Oh fuck! And just
I
gone
guess
straight
he
down.
It's like, but most of it would sink anyway.
I
Like,
guess that he thought the term straight nose down
Okay.
was a technical term, and he
Yeah.
was seeming really smart by saying
Exactly.
it. Like, I know what angles
You've seen
are.
too many old war films where they shoot a dismit down, it dives into the water with that Stuka sound. Like, Seen that too many times. I
He
think
thought the
planes
engine
crash now.
spluttered, and then it just stopped and fell.
Yeah.
Jesus.
There was a quite good Facebook virus going around where it was found flight MH37. If you try to click on it, it would just repost it to everyone and then stole your credit card details, I suppose.
That's
It was
all
an
good.
interesting sort of. It was sort of like an interesting explanation of what the human mind will do when confronted with no information.
Yeah.
it's
It's
good,
like the Madeline McCann thing. They did a 24-hour news view when they brought in the parents to question them. And if you turned on to a 24-hour news channel, it was loads of people looking at a door
Yeah,
for
of course.
hours on end. Because that's where they were. They're in that door. It was outside the door. And they go back to the reporter on the scene. They go, any news from the door? Oh, no. A car went past recently. That's about it. It's just like you got to the point when live news, and the point where the person in the studio has more information than the person on the scene, and then you get the fucking idiots who think that aliens took it or North Korea or
Well, of
something.
course. I mean, yeah. Like, I'm surprised there wasn't really on 24-hour news. There wasn't like live searches for the plane, because like live searches
Well, I mean,
for the plane
would
would
you
be a lot more
would you
engaging
want
than
to
looking at a
watch-
door.
Would you
Well,
want to
Al
watch
Jazeera had-
6 hours recordings of a boat going forward?
Yeah, but it's
Al Jazeera had
door.
a
It's either
person.
door or water. I'd rather take moving water. Like clearly
At least
they've
water
already said
moves, yeah.
door is acceptable.
You can actually.
So
There is a web set up on the front of a yacht, I think, not a yacht, like a ferry in Scandinavia. So if you really want to, you can just watch a dive for a bit if you're into that. It's. Ugh.
Jesus.
Well, Al Jazeera's
Speaking of
24-hour rolling news channel had
Yeah.
a guy on one of the search boats, but like nothing ever really changed, obviously, because they were just searching bits of water and not finding anything at that point because this was looking for surface debris. So obviously he'd keep asking the people different questions, and the answer, or not, well, the same questions basically. So answers were always the same, basically.
Just
because
differently worded.
Yeah, nothing had ever progressed.
Yeah.
So basically, he was there watching people look at waves.
Yeah, just watching people, try and find wreckage.
And the thing is, I love the way he would ask the question, "Have you found anything yet?" And he'd be like, "No, or else we wouldn't still be looking."
You know that.
Yeah. We'd be going mental.
What have we seen? Oh, we've seen some waves. What else have we seen?
Oh, I found
well-
a plane. Really? No.
No. Oh, well, Jerry's got quite a good card trick. Look, there he goes. Cheers, Jerry. No problem.
Oh, okay. But I think everyone's heard enough of us
Yeah.
going on about deaths and
I have
Terminator
some
remakes.
I have some other news, though.
Oh, go on. Last one. Bring
I
us
have some
out.
other news. This has happened in March, the 10th of March.
Actually, in March.
Yeah, the March podcast. A New Zealand man was playing poker, and he had a bet with his card players, and he lost. And so they gave him a new name, which he's changed it to. Would you like to know what the name was?
Yes,
Definitely.
of course. Or else this would be a waste of time.
Full Metal Havoc, more sexy and intelligent than Spock, and all the superheroes combined with Frost Nova.
Right. I don't believe that story.
Legally.
Well, it's fucking true. It's in the
His- his-
Telegraph.
That's his legal name.
His
In the
legal name is
Telegraph.
Full Metal Havoc, sexy and intelligent than Spock, and all the superheroes combined with Frost Nova. That's his new name. He's 22 years old, from the southern city of Dunedin.
This is why Scandinavian
This is New
countries have a
Zealand.
list of names that you can't, or a list of names that you can be called.
New Zealand does as well.
That's
Zealand
not on
is-
the list.
Well, would you put that on the list? You're thinking up names to fucking deny. Are you going to put a 99 character long
No,
name
not
on
words
there?
to deny. It's just words that you're like a specific amount of words that are allowed. It's pretty liberal, but it's not
Well-
words. They're not being negative. They're being
Yeah.
positive. It's words you can name.
Well, New Zealand is the place that I think that a girl called something Tulula does the hula from Hawaii.
Right.
And that's where they changed
Hang on,
it.
Aaron, but they are being negative. It's just that
Well,
they're
it's a
only
different-
putting in the positive options, but there's a
No, I
massive
mean- I mean
negative
in
list that was too big to write down.
That's what I mean. They're not like they're giving like I mean I didn't mean positive and negative in like the moral sense. I mean
Oh,
in, like
okay.
the subtracting or adding to the what you can do.
Oh, I see.
But-
fair enough.
But yeah, I mean I mean New Zealand's system's shit then if it's just a list of things that people can't be called because people are always going to think of stupid shit.
Well, that must have been
I
a
assume-
fucking slow news day to have that
Yeah, especially
story.
for the Telegraph. Like Jesus, it's even the same continent or land. Nothing, nowhere near.
'Cause I read The Sun quite a lot, and I've never seen that. I don't think I've. Yeah, that's where I'd expect to find it.
Maybe
New
it's
not
like
Zealand's
in this
list of band names has been upgraded.
is
Interesting. Can't call
Spock.
your child. This is 2001. Royal Duke. It's basically lots of titles. Can't call your child Lucifer. Can't call them J, T, or I.
What's wrong with Lucifer? Lucifer's a great name.
Why
Can't call
JT or-
Can't call them Christ or Queen Victoria.
bullshit.
You can't call them full stop. Just the symbol. You can't name them.
That
You
would be
can't
quite.
name them for the star symbol above your 8. You can't name them V8 or
Asterisk.
HQ, which implies that at some point a New Zealand couple tried to name their child HQ.
Headquarters. Maybe they were really. Maybe there was a military base and they were really unimaginative.
That'd be
Oh,
quite-
name
that'd be
you
quite-
after where you were conceived.
Yeah.
Headquarters.
AK-47. Anyway.
Can't name your child Mafia No Fear in New Zealand. If you really wanted to name Mafia No Fear. Or
Okay.
for real. Can't name your child for real.
For real, that's a very positive name.
Yeah, my child is
real.
for real.
Yeah.
He's an authentic child. He knows what he's
Check him
talking
out.
about.
He's for real.
You can't name a child anal.
Oh,
that is fair. I'll give you
yep,
that.
I guess.
But Well, actually, anal's just another character, a character type. Like you're saying, they're for real, or they could be really anal. Like that's
Or
just
they-
how it works.
I'm going to call him
Wait.
Anal instead.
Well, anyway,
Anal.
I think we might have to leave it there because it's running a bit long. But
It's the super excitement of the name anal, though. I mean,
you've had there we go. That's a good place to leave it on. So you don't move to New Zealand and try and call your kid anal because it won't happen.
Do it in the land of the free, Britain.
I think we should sum up by saying what we've learned this month. Aaron, what have you learned?
That people have too much spare time to remake shitty
Oh.
movies and come up with conspiracy theories.
Harvey, what have you learned?
I learned that my life continues in exactly the same pointless vein that I wanted to avoid this year, but cannot clearly. And what have you learned,
Okay.
Alec?
Jesus. All right. What about you? Yeah.
I've learned that apparently people don't like Black Dynamite as much as I thought they did.
Oh, there we go. Awesome.
Apparently nobody likes it. It's just me.
Excellent. Well, there we go. Join us in April, which is currently
Join us in April or maybe June.
probably. Yeah, we'll get around to April's in kind of August-ish. We'll do 4 in a row.
We'll do it next year.
All right.
We'll
Bye,
backlog 'em.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Farewell.